the Division two, three, depending on the college that you're coaching at. What's been your experience advancing and getting into pressure situation, pressure games?
Well, I was assistant coach at a Division I school, and we made the tournament every year, but whoever wins goes to the 64. But we were the number 1 seed once, and we were number 3 seed once, and we lost. We were 2 and out both years I was there. The team I was with last year at Pierce College in Washington, we made the tournament, and then there's only 8 teams make it out of like 28 teams. We were in that last year, and then this year they won it. Yeah, it's been a little while for a big championship for me. So.
Now, you left Pierce to go to the team you're coaching in Michigan, and so some of the players that you helped recruit at Pierce, you still follow those, and does it make you feel good to see some continued success there?
Oh, the guy that did the same thing I'm trying to do at my college, he took over a program that was way below 500, and he got them to 500. And then the year I was there, we were like 31-7, but didn't win the tournament. This year they were about the same record, but they swept through the tournament and won the whole thing. So. I'm trying to do the same thing at my school. I took over a program that was 12-40. We got close to 500 this year. Next year we're going to be way over that, and then same thing.
Yeah,
I'm trying to follow his pattern. His pattern was pretty good. I mean, well, you got to have players, man. That's
right, and I know it's all about recruiting. I know you're very heavily involved in now redeveloping the team into your mold. As far as controlling scholarship money and giving kids reassurances that they'll get to play the playing time that they're expecting, the positions they expect to play, and to build some success off of that in your own mold. So that must give you a good feeling to see improvement that way.
Well, that part's exciting because in college I run everything. So I mean, from the fun rate to the stuff I don't like to the stuff I do like, but it's about the players. And so this year I had a chance to go watch everybody play high school. I got married, and the next 30 days, I drug her off to 30 high school games, and she went to all of them with me, and we watched. She knows their parents' names and all that stuff, but I got the kids down, and so we went and watched a high school game every night. So you can tell that's my kind of player. I mean, there's people recruiting the same kind of guys, but I like him, because he fits the way I coach. So,
right.
So this year I'll have my own. It'll be all my guys. I've recruited every single one of them. So, it's my team now. If we don't do something big, it's my fault. So.
Now, coaching junior college, you typically only get your players for 2 years as opposed to a 4-year commitment. So that must be hard on the roster, the constant turnover.
Yeah, at a 4-year, you'd have to replace eight guys each year, but I have to go out and get about 16. So there's a big turnover, and then you got to keep them in school because it's kind of I have a lot of second chance guys who. They could have been Division I, but they didn't have the grades, or they didn't have whatever. They got hurt, or they missed a year. I got some of those guys who have Division I talent that are at my junior college for different reasons. So I got to make sure I keep all of them eligible. So.
Derek, any superstitions? Anything that you do on game day? Anything that the fans might enjoy hearing about?
If I jump in the shower at a certain time, put on the same clothes, the same route. I'll go through the same daily routine. If something goes good that day, I'll repeat it. But once something bad, I'll change it all up. Take all my switch.
Yeah, we asked Ross Julian about that last week, and he said he ate a carrot before their most recent win, so he was going to start eating carrots every time and see if that would help. But mostly it's about game day routine. Is that what you try to do?
Yeah, just stay in that same routine so you don't have to think about too much. You just go in there, having a good time.
Do you have any on-field superstitions, like not wanting to step on the foul lines, or things you do up on the mound? Anything in particular?
I definitely avoid the foul lines. I jump right over it.
You see that's a frequent thing. It's like step on a crack, break your mother's back when you're a kid or something. And that's involved out of that.
And then every time I get an out on the mound, I'll go in a big circle all the way to the third baseman, like a half circle.
Along the back side of the pitcher's mound, you just kind of from one side first base over to the third base side. Now, is it a routine that you just do automatically, or are you just looking for the ball to come back from the third baseman once they have it around the infield?
It just became a routine. Since I fall off that way, then I'll just walk around because I know the ball is going to finish at third base when they throw it around.
Interesting. Are you looking to experience baseball out in New England in the future? I know you, when it comes to this Futures Collegiate Baseball League, I'm sure there's other opportunities in other parts of the country. We recruited, for New England specifically. Are you looking to just to stay home where your roots are in New England, or would you like to experience baseball in other parts of the country?
I would love to go throughout the country. The more exposure you can get as a ball player, I think it's better for you. And also, you get to learn how other people live, their cultures, and all that.
Now, does the University of New Haven have a spring training program where they go down to Florida and play games, or do you just basically play in New England?
Yeah, we actually went down to Florida this year. Next year, I think we start in Myrtle Beach in February, and then go to Florida. So kind of.
So you get to see the East Coast anyways, and some of those teams down south, they play baseball year round. It seems like they never have an off season, so the competition must really step up down there. Kids are really prepared in the early part of the year.
Yeah.
It's nice, and it must be nice facing other competition that you might have seen in prior years. Kids you've played with, all-star teams. Kind of just getting a new feel for the unknown. Yeah. Being able to challenge other kids. So that's great that you look forward to that. Ross, as far as the team involvement, what have you been? Are you involved in any scouting? I know. We're always looking to add to the roster. Have you been talking to Mike as far as helping with the team? Are you fielding calls to try to help Mike with his roster and maybe with the pitching and stuff? How's that evolving?
I don't do a lot of scouting myself. I've never really coached. I haven't played at the collegiate level. Played when I was younger, so I don't really know too much about scouting. I do have a cousin that's a coach in the area, college coach. I'm contacting him to see if he might know anybody that he can think of. He's the head coach up at Anna Maria, so talking to him and seeing if he can knows anybody he can maybe help us out with for some pitching.
Now the roster's not locked in. You can make roster changes anytime you want.
Yeah, we have a certain amount of roster spots. It's 30, and so as long as we don't have over 30 people, we can always add people.
Do we have 30 on the roster right now? Are we maxed out?
We're not maxed out yet, so we have spots.
So it's not like you need to cut and then fill. You can just bring people in. You keep open roster spots in case something comes up.
In case something comes our way.
Now, can you dip in? I know Legion is a popular league around here, and there's some freshmen and younger college players. Do you have any type of agreement with some of the local leagues, the Legion leagues, and things like that might help you to improve your team at our level?
No, not yet. This is our first season. We're still just trying to figure out things that might work in the future. I know our owner assembled this team for the most part this year, and maybe during the off season we can kind of reevaluate different things and see if we want to do something like that in the future.
I know the team is very heavily weighted with New England players. I know we wanted to try to draw that New England fan, especially the Massachusetts fan, Central Mass fan in.
Yes.
I look at some of the other teams' rosters. Players from Canada, players from Colorado, Florida, Texas. Is it kind of an ever-evolving thing? Is it really you guys are going through a learning process right now as far as your roster?
Yeah, the part of the rule in the league is your team has to be at least 50% connected to New England, whether you reside in New England or you played college ball in New England. And I know our owner, we picked the team, he tried to kind of keep it to be strictly New England, to try to draw the New England fan, whereas some other teams, they went all over and got players from all over the country. And so maybe next year we might do some more players from other places, try to get some good talent, because there's good talent all over.
Very nice. What do we have coming up? I know you're very heavily involved in social media, the Twitter, the Facebook. Anything you want the fans to be aware of, appearances, special exhibition games, anything that the fans want to be aware of in the upcoming schedule?
Yeah, on Sunday we're facing the British national team, the U23 team. They're flying over here and they're facing the scrimmaging teams from all over the area. They're hoping to make the World Baseball Classic this year, and so the scrimmaging, a bunch of teams from all around here. It's kind of like right before 4th of July, it's kind of a Redcoats versus the Minutemen kind of feel. We're having muskets fired after every home run, and so we'll see how that goes.
I know we had some players signing autographs at the library. We did the summer stroll. How's that being received?
It's going great. The players are enjoying reaching out to the community, and the community's very warm and accepting of them. We've had some great times at different places. I know our guest last week, Ross and Davidson, after this went over to the Fitzroy Public Library with our mascot Digger, and they read stories to some of the little kids there, and the kids loved it, and it was great.
I know we had the Sterling Little League there the other night, and they were very well received. They accompanied the players out to their particular Little League All-Star. It was the All-Star, Sterling All-Stars, and they had a great time throwing out the first pitch. And you know, the manager and coaches, they were just eating it up, and I think the kids really enjoy that type of involvement. We encourage any of the Little Leagues or youth baseball teams that want to be part of what's going on with the Wachusett Dirt Dogs to contact us. We have a trivia question this week, Ross?
Yes, to go on our website, www.dirtdogsball.com, and answer the question to who was the starting pitcher against Pittsfield last week. That's www.dirtdogsball.com, and who was the starting pitcher? When you get to the site, just click on inside the doghouse, and there'll be a little answer box. Put in your name, your email address, and the answer, and you can win free tickets. That was against the 10-0 win against Pittsfield on June 19th.
And would like to encourage the fans to come out to upcoming games this week. Friday evening, that's June 29th against the Torrington Titans. The exhibition game on Sunday, July 1st against the British national team. And then a repeat game against the Torrington Titans on Tuesday, July 3rd. Please catch all the Dirt Dogs action at Doyle Field, and catch us here on FATV on Outside the Doghouse.